With a little less than a month before Season 2.5 ends, the time is now to climb to new heights and chase that ELO bag. As an Eternity player myself, I have 10 characters, 3 Vanguards, 4 Duelists, and 3 Strategists that you should be using to get free ELO. Before we go into the main heroes on the list, let's talk about the heroes that are going to get banned for most of you that you definitely want to at least kind of understand. These being Hela, Hawkeye, Storm, and Iron Man. All of these heroes are incredibly strong and are consistently banned, but are definitely worth learning to pull out occasionally. Hela and Iron Man already have guides here on the channel, so I urge you to check those out if you'd like, but the name of the game on Storm and Hawkeye is to just live as long as possible and provide consistent outputs. Whether that be through a clutch Storm ultimate or headshot to cancel a support ultimate on Hawkeye, their value is simple and should be a solid pickup no matter what game they are in. Outside of those 4 DPS, let's start talking about the Vanguards that are way less likely to get banned. The ones you should be playing are most definitely Emma Frost, Magneto, and Groot. Starting off with Emma, Emma is arguably the best she has ever been, even after what so many people are trying to describe as a nerf. Sure, she does less damage in her diamond form, but she still does enough to finish people off because the main thing is her beam that whittles people down first. So really? This patch was a huge buff for Emma. With the longer range that she has with her beam, she's going to have higher charge duration, and that means that she's going to be able to sustain her charge for much longer in between fights as well, because she doesn't have to walk as far forward with her diamond form to keep that charge up. So this is just going to make it even easier for you to walk in the backline once the fight starts to get free picks, and even better, to even pressure out those flyers we were just talking about out of the sky with that extra range. It doesn't happen a lot, but if Iron Man players are playing too low to the ground, you can definitely pressure them out, and Storm really doesn't have the mobility she needs to get away from you if you can latch onto her in the middle of the fights. Now, the thing that you really want to be thinking about though is that in Eternity, Emma is nearly a permaban, at least in my games, but she isn't really all that much banned in lower elos, which means you can kind of just play her for free before people start catching up and getting a lot of that elo pretty early on in the season. I'm not a tank player, but she's my most played because I have like an 85% win rate. She's absolutely crazy. We have a guide for her on the channel too if you want to check that out, but the name of the game is to just make sure that you're getting your charge, and then in between fights, you don't even have to worry about the front line. You can just walk straight to the back line, kill supports, and just get free Ws. Now, the next tank that we're going to be talking about is Magneto, who is also pretty darn strong this season. It all just boils down to getting his ult and being insanely good at destroying support ultimates in ranked. If you can cancel support ultimates consistently in ranked, you are pretty much going to win every single game. This was very true for my Iron Man Bronze to GM. We had a 98% win rate simply because if you can just stop a support ultimate, what's going to happen is you're going to create so many opportunities for your team to troll and still win. And a lot of games in lower elos really do just boil down to which team uses their support ultimates better and plays around them better. So taking one out of the fight permanently gives your supports more room to troll, which they're going to use, by the way. And even if they don't troll, then you just get free fight wins because they're just going to support ult and you're going to win a fight. So it's very, very impactful, and any character that can actually do something with a support ultimate, I promise you, in the future Bronze to GMs are going to have the highest win rates, like without a doubt. Also, he has a really good team up with Emma Frost, which gives him that double clone, which lets him do more damage, lets him put out more bubbles, which is pretty nice. Not really meta defining, but it is pretty nice. So overall, with how ranked is looking and just the climate that it's going to be forever, Magneto is a very solid pick right now and definitely worth playing most of the time. Last on the list for Vanguards is Groot. While yes, he has gotten nerfed quite a bit and isn't really a permaban anymore, he is still super strong on the right maps, and that ultimate cannot be undervalued. Any map where he has a solid choke to play with, it's still just incredible to wall off a tank and get some free value, especially if you're going against an Emma player that's walking up a little bit too much. Now, you still can give her charge in between fights if you're trolling with your walls and leaving them around for too long, but if you're really good with Groot, you can actually counter her. He's nowhere near as oppressive as he was before, like we've already stated, but the value of that ultimate too and the zoning capabilities he can do, it's just too strong, making him a character worth picking up and playing no matter what. Also, you can just combo him with an Amor or a Moon Knight still to take out the support ultimates like we were talking before. Thing is, he's not as strong as Magneto in that regard because it does require your team to actually know that you have ults and follow up on it. So just keep that in mind. But anyways, let's move on to the Duelists, starting off with the Punisher. As for the Duelist, he is probably one of the best that doesn't get banned this season. He did get infinite ammo taken away, but his new team up anchor bonus makes his stats absolutely lethal. He's got 300 health on a character that can deal 400 damage per second to tanks if you were hitting all headshots. 400 damage per second with his assault rifle, just walking around. That's more than Iron Man in his overdrive form, actually double of that. So keep that in mind. That's That's pretty crazy. Hela and Hawkeye are banned almost every single game, which makes Punisher the main source for dealing with flyers, and he also has a really good matchup into Groot that a lot of people are playing now. He's a staple hit scan DPS that everyone should be playing when those characters are banned, and honestly, even if they're not banned, I still could see Punisher being played in some weird compositions. We actually just made a guide for him this week for the channel too, as well as a bronze to GM that is either already out or will be coming out shortly after this, so be on the lookout for that. Punisher is by far and away one of the best characters to be playing in this season. Next up, we have Psylocke, and just because she got nerfed does not mean she is still not an elite character. She's very, very solid into flyers if she can play in her stealth to set herself up long enough to flank, which is a little bit harder this season, but not impossible. And also, she still has one of the fastest time to kills in the game compared to other DPS that are strong right now. In my opinion, she's really never going to lose validity due to climbing higher and higher because she always has a spot on the team. She can either be a very good utility flanker or she can just carry too in lower elo. The only problem is that she takes patience and aim, skills that a lot of people need to learn over time compared to other characters that just, you know, you have consistent output on a character like Punisher and Iron Man. Those characters are easier than a character like this. Luckily enough, we do have guides for her on the channel. She's definitely really good to learn if you're down for the challenge and are okay with maybe not hitting all the way to the top this season and want to really invest in your improvement in rank over time. So the next DPS we have up is an absolute sleeper pick that emerged out of nowhere this season, being Star-Lord. He is even better when Hela is banned, and in my opinion, that character should be banned almost every single game. Star-Lord does a great job of contesting flyers, so they don't just get to do whatever they want for free, and he's also pretty good against that Psylocke we were just talking about in terms of marking her so that she can't defeat your flyer. Super powerful also too with his ultimate. Star-Lord has one of the best DPS ultimates in the game for all players because you don't have to worry about aiming. I'm honestly surprised I haven't been seeing more Star-Lords in all of my games. He's absolutely super strong and ranked as he is right now, and I don't know, people are just sleeping on this guy. On top of this, he's pretty versatile too because he can farm ult on the ground or he can fly around depending on what you need. When you're versatile and strong, that's really all you can ask for in ranked. The only problem with Star-Lord is that he can't really defeat support ultimates when they go down like other DPS like we were just talking about being the Punisher, but he can at least force them out if you need to. So just like all the other DPS we've talked about so far, we got a guide for him. Check him out. He's one of my favorite characters in the game. Honestly, I want to get back to playing him. He's a lot of fun. But the last DPS we have on the list is, oddly enough, Scarlet Witch. I have a really hard time recommending her for everyone, but this is specifically for players that are struggling to get out of plat and below, that really just want to get the skin for the end of the season for Ultron and Emma Frost. Scarlet Witch is honestly one of the best picks and honestly one of the best metas she has ever been in. She has really solid matchups into a lot of the popular flyers this season, and that's why she is so good. Sure, she is not as good as other DPS, but let's get practical here. She's a lot easier to aim on than literally anyone else in the game. She gets countered by supports that know how to heal their team and support them in duels, but honestly, that never happens in lower elos. People, let alone don't heal their team, let alone look at flyers in the air. That doesn't even happen maybe until honestly past GM. So Scarlet is definitely a character that people are sleeping on for those lower elos. And if you want to carry, but you don't quite have the aim to do it, Scarlet is a good entry-level pick to at least get you that skin that you want at the end of the season. So now let's move on to the Strategists, and to no one's surprise, the first one I'm going to recommend to you is Luna Snow. It's crazy that she's not getting banned in a lot of games. I honestly think she's a better ban than the Hawkeye, but I don't mind if you're trying to run flyers. If you want to try to take out that Hawkeye Hela combo, that's fine. But the main thing is, like, she can 2-burst flyers with good practice. Storm's going to be pretty close most of the time. So it's going to be pretty easy for her to do that. And she doesn't move that fast anyways. And that's just crazy. So like, sure, her ultimate got nerfed in terms of the charge, but she also just has one of the best ultimates in the game too. And that just can't be understated. You just have to make sure that if you're playing with an Ultron, you're not stacking your Snowflake with the drone, and that you're focusing on farming that ultimate because it does take a little bit more effort. All around, Luna Snow is a great, she's not even a great support. She's just the best support, if not one of the best characters in the entire game. I mean, she's absolutely crazy. It's surprising to me that if you still haven't hopped on that Luna Snow grind, because you're still stuck on Cloak and Dagger, it's time to catch up, boys. Play Luna Snow, do damage, get good healing numbers, carry with your ultimate. There's nothing better. Well, there's one other character that's pretty good, and that's Loki, because Loki is also just straight up insane this season, and you wouldn't think it because flyers are so rampant, and he really struggles into aiming in the air. You would think that Loki wouldn't be that good, but it turns out that having 2 Luna ultimates that last 12 seconds each for 24 seconds of invincibility, turns out that's pretty good, and it's just so good that it's pretty much run in every single one of my games in Eternity and One Above All, as well as scrims, unless one of those characters are getting banned. And guess what? They're not, because everyone is still stuck on banning Emma and other DPS. Until the devs are going to be willing to change the ultimate interaction between Luna and Loki, maybe make her ultimate from 12 seconds to 10 or less, it's always going to be this way, and the ult's just going to be insanely strong. On top of this, Loki also has great damage output himself. He's still a very solid character himself. And he's also great at just dealing with Groot walls if the enemies are running that too, because now you can just break them even faster. So overall, Loki's a character people, I mean, they've known is really good. He is a little bit harder. We have guides for all the supports on this channel, but 100%, he's not out of reach. He's very easy to learn compared to other characters, even though he is what people perceive as a little bit more difficult. But let's round out the final of the list here, being with Ultron. And this one I know is just turning a lot of heads. A lot of people, especially in lower elo, think that Ultron kind of sucks, but I'm telling you guys right now, Ultron is very strong this season in the right hands. So much so that he's getting banned actually in Eternity and One Above All occasionally over that Hawkeye or Hela pick, because a lot of people can play those characters at top elo on both teams at this point. Setting him up in a triple support composition is fine, but it's not needed. Putting your drone though on the other DPS like Hela, for example, and just sitting on an off angle farming until they respond to you is why he is so good. There is very little the enemy team can do when you have a Hela that has an extra flat 100 HP at her disposal at least to do whatever she wants, because of Ultron's firewall ability and the healing that he's doing over time. It's even better if you were duo queuing with a DPS player, so you can actually use the drone on the off angle together, considering people don't really do that in ranked anyways. And that is the problem as why do people think that Ultron is not good, especially around that diamond and GM rating, because people aren't taking off angles together. They don't understand how that character works. But now that you have watched this video and you have sent this to your DPS friend, if you want to run Hela and Ultron together and just walk around and just kill everyone, I'm telling you, you are going to shoot up in rank very, very quickly. It's a reason why Ultron's getting banned at high elo. And yes, just as a reminder, for Ultron and all the other supports, we have guides on the channel for each of these characters, as well as Hela. So if you just want to send the Hela guide to your friend and you want to play Ultron, I'm telling you, guys, don't sleep on this. It's a very easy combo to pull off, even if you don't have the best aim. Just with all that health, there's really nothing the enemies can do. So that closes out today's video on all of the characters that you're going to be wanting to use to climb fast in Marvel Rivals. If you do enjoy this kind of content, please do let me know in the comments down below, as we're trying new things. And if this video does get enough likes, I'll be sure to make one each month for every new season, because if this is something you guys value, why not make it for you guys? So thank you guys all so much for watching. But until next time, I've got to peace out and Paz out. I'll see you in the next one.